Check this out. J. Cole, Album of the Year. It's all happening.
Static Selector.
Sometimes it's tough to tell if J. Cole is the best artist ever or the worst artist ever. He's clearly one of the most successful MCs of this generation. All of his albums have gone platinum at least. K.O.D is the 10th top-selling project of 2018. Fans love him like a fat kid loves cake. By every commercial measure, it's a Cole world indeed. And yet at the same time, for years, there's been an ongoing debate about whether J. Cole is boring. This isn't new. You can Google all of this. But this is probably the most common headline associated with the North Carolina lyricist. The disconnect between his critical and commercial reception has become so pronounced, it's actually a fun drinking game. Fans say Forest Hills Drive is a classic. PITCHFORK says it wrapped itself in the garments of a classic, but you can tell the tailoring is off. When For Your Eyes Only dropped, Cole fans celebrated the return of the Ville-matic one. The Ringer, on the other hand, debated whether Cole was a good rapper, a bad rapper, or the worst rapper. And after K.O.D's surprise release earlier this year, The Ringer finally reached a conclusion. He's neither boring nor bold, apparently. I guess that means he's somewhere in between, which sounds pretty average, and where I'm from, average is incredibly boring. Jesus. Clearly Cole's aware of all of this. He's talked about this in multiple interviews throughout his career. Here's what he told NME back in 2013. It's funny, but it's sad. Everybody has their own style of music they like. I would never let that affect me in the way I make music. The people who like soul playing probably gonna think Shawshank Redemption is boring. It's not the end of the world. Links in the description. Now, to be fair, I've never been the most vocal advocate for J. Cole musically. I love his messaging. I love that he marches and uses his voice both on and off wax. I love that he loves and defends hip hop consistently. I love that he has a massive audience, a massive following. He deserves it. I'm glad he's around, absolutely. But musically, he's always kind of felt like a regular rapper from the 90s to me. If we could teleport J. Cole back to 1996, I'm not sure who he would be considered better than in that era, which is why at times I would question whether he was an all-time great. But hey, nostalgia's a hell of a drug, and everything feels fresher when you're experiencing it for the first time. Like this baby trying bacon. I do love the swine though, for real, for real. Don't at me. Either way, K.O.D hit me differently. The shell is still similar to the most recent J. Cole releases. He's still doing the majority of the production by himself. He's still rapping the whole time by himself. Kill Edward is the only feature listed on the project, which reportedly is J. Cole's alter ego, so there's that. But conceptually, K.O.D nails the year's most visceral trend: addiction and mental illness. Both topics are absolutely dominating the zeitgeist. A number of artists have tackled the scourge in one way or another. Logic notched a massive hit last year with his Suicide song. Kanye's been all over the topic in interviews and in his music. His album Ye talks about it. His collab with Kid Cudi, Kids See Ghosts, leans heavily on the conversation. What I appreciate most about Cole's approach to K.O.D is that he tackles addiction comprehensively and organically, where a song like Photoshop, for example, focuses on our addiction to social media and Insta thoughts. The cutoff is a reminder that at some points we have to remove people who are hampering our progress. The bridge on that song is majestic, by the way. I know heaven is a mind state. I've been a couple times. Stuck in my ways, so I keep on falling down. All of it's slurred, like that first time I tried lean back at Wofford College. One time only, last time. Where Once Was an Addict depicts the pain of coming home and seeing your mother angry and drunk, Friends is an outreach to the homies struggling with substance abuse. I love the way he kicks this part too, by the way. But I'm aggravated without it. My saddest days are without it. My Saturdays are the loudest. I'm blowing strong. Some niggas graduated to powder. I dabble later. I doubt it. My database of narcotics is growing long. Completely new flow that we've heard from J. Cole, by the way. The majority of the hooks on K.O.D are succinct and repetitive. ATM, for example, is about our addiction to money. The hook is simply count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Motivate's hook is similar as well, just as repetitive, just repeating motivate over and over and over. Cole talked about this on Twitter. He said, aside from the fact that they're flame emoji, flame emoji, flame emoji, hooks are the most addictive part of music. If a chorus by nature is a drug, the right repetitive hook is like crack. Cheap, but get you high as fuck. Shout out to my homie M80. He pointed out something to me this week that I wasn't aware of. J. Cole's first rap name was Therapist. When he was 14, he was mentored by a group called the Bomb Shelter. J. Cole talked about this in an interview in 2011 with MTV News. He said one group member was named Nervous Wreck and the other was Filthy Rich. I was like, man, those are the most creative rap names I've ever heard. I need a rap name like that. We used to look through the dictionary for rap names. I could never find nothing. One day these dudes were like, yo, we got a name for you. It's Therapist. Nervous Wreck expounds in that same conversation. Here's what Nervous Wreck says. I was like, maybe it could work. You just gotta play the whole doctor image and being therapeutic, and your music is therapeutic. Obviously, Cole ended up ditching the name. Here's why he did it. A few years later, I realized that Therapist sounded like a wrestler's name, like an alias. It didn't feel real. There is a hokey quality attached to the moniker, but ironically, it's not really that off base. For example, K.O.D has 3 different definitions. There's kids on drugs, there's king overdose, and there's kill our demons. He broke all this down along multiple tour stops this year. Roll clip.
K.O.D, 3 meanings. 3 meanings. Some of y'all like, fuck is K.O.D? I'm gonna tell you, 3 meanings. First meaning, kids on drugs. That's the times we living in right now. All of us in this society, shit, we all got our own little shit, our own ways of escape. Some people it's alcohol, some people it's weed, pills, some people it's sex and money. We all got our own forms of dealing with our shit, running from our shit. Second K.O.D, King Overdose. That's me, myself, personifying that character. Anytime I have been afflicted by these same addictions, and anytime I still am, King Overdose. The last K.O.D, it's the most important to me. It's the real one. It's really what it's all about. It's where I'm trying to get to in my life, you know what I mean? K.O.D, kill our demons. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's all about. We trying to get over our shit.
Kill our demons. A couple of weeks ago, hip-hop lost one of its most talented artists. Mac Miller passed away from an apparent overdose at the age of 26. Love across the culture poured in memory of someone so close to so many. In late 2017, Lil Peep passed away from an overdose as well. He was 21. Love across the culture poured in memory of someone so close to so many. Demi Lovato nearly lost her life this summer from an apparent overdose. She's in stable condition, fortunately. Bow Wow recently opened up about his lean addiction and how he nearly lost his life as well. According to a Pew Research study released in August, addiction practitioners say they're seeing a surge in the number of young patients who are hooked on Xanax. Many take high daily doses of the drug, sometimes in deadly combination with opioids and alcohol. Adolescent benzo use has skyrocketed, and more kids are being admitted to hospitals for benzo withdrawal because the seizures are so dangerous. Cole explained his inspiration behind K.O.D in an interview with VULTURE this year. He says, we live in a society where all this drug use is normalized. It's the norm, it's okay, it's fucking encouraged, it's fucking promoted. You turn on the TV, you're feeling down? Of course I'm feeling down. I'm a fucking human being. Try this, whatever this thing is. Like, nah. How about you actually feel sad and figure out what the fuck it is that got you feeling sad so you can work on that. The point is this, addiction and mental illness, these are global tragedies that affect people of all races and nationalities, and often it feels like we talk about these calamities when we lose a celebrity or we experience some sort of collective grief. And just like it's difficult to go to someone and say, hey, I'm not in control, I'm an addict, it can also be difficult for other people to go to someone and say, hey, I think you need help. It's a real conversation that's very difficult for people to be real about. Maybe it's because we don't want to overstep our bounds, or we don't want to sound too preachy. Maybe we don't want to put these themes too directly in our art because it might be lame or boring. But K.O.D is my album of the year because it targets a generational crisis and is not afraid to take an audience to therapy precisely when it needs it most. Is there anyone else in hip hop willing to sacrifice their cool points to play therapist? If not J. Cole, then who? I don't have the answers to these questions.
Status selected.
Another Saturday, another TBD. Thank you guys for rocking with us each and every week. This piece actually hit close to home one. I am surprised that J. Cole is my album of the year. People have been watching my videos for a while, understand that this is probably the first time you guys have ever heard this, but it's true and it's real. I've been in this situation before. I've made videos before where it felt like I shouldn't say something real because those tend to be the videos that get the least number of views. But it's not necessarily about what you're talking about, it's how you talk about it. And J. Cole does a superb job of that on this project. He also has things like solutions. He's not just a celebrity outside talking about how I got all these demons and I got all these problems. He's like, I got all these demons and you got all these demons. Here's something we can do. Meditate. There's solutions there, there's opportunities there. I also think he's rapping better than he ever has been. And I also think, for me, the stripped down production on the project, perfect for the conversation. But what do you guys think? Let me know how you feel about this project. I know that there's a number of great albums this year. J-Rock's project needs some listens. Nipsey Hussle's project, Victory Lap, needs some listens. This is a great year for music on the high key. What other projects do you guys feel like were slept on this year that need more recognition? What's coming out between now and 2019 that you're excited about? You know I can't wait for that new Lupe. Like and subscribe to the channel, follow @TheCompanyMan on everything. Hit that bell, hit that bell. I'm Justin Hunt. It's all happening.